Hey, Drue James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com, and I'm playing Mr. Johnny Cash and I Walk the Line, a fingerstyle version that I've put in the key of C to make it easier for you beginner fingerstyle players that want to learn a great tune, a classic that everybody knows. It's a really quick little simple tune this, really nice and easy to pick up. It will test you if you've been playing, I'd say, about 6 months to a year or so with fingerstyle guitar. Now you can get the tab to this completely for free at the Learn Guitar in London website. The student area just takes a name and email address to join. I've left a link in the video and there's a link in the video description so you can get that at any time you want. I do suggest you get the tab. Let's start learning how to play this great song. So this is fingerstyle guitar, okay? So that means that I base mine on the classical approach of the thumb playing the top 3 strings, Eddie, A, and Dynamite, so that's E, A, and D. The index playing the good, G, the middle playing the B or bi, and the ring finger playing the E, okay? Or Eddie, so Eddie, A, Dynamite, good, bi, Eddie, E, A, D, G, B, E. So if you hear me referencing the fingers on this hand, that's what I'm on about. Okay. Generally bass notes, if I ever say bass, that's the top 3 strings. The other strings I'll usually reference as their letter names like G, B or E. With the frets on here, we've got fret 1, fret 2, fret 3. So if you hear me referencing that, and I will be referencing around chords. There's one chord that dominates this song, and that is the C chord. So that's fret 1 on the B string, fret 2 on the D, and fret 3 on the A. And for that chord, if you were strumming it, you'd strum the bottom 5. So we're going to be moving from this, and a lot of the time we're going to be changing this chord around a bit. So hopefully you know this chord really well. So starting off the first bar. So nice and simple, it's got that little walk that that happens on the record where it's 3rd fret on the A string, play that with your thumb, do that again, then go to fret 2 on the A string, then go to the open A string. Okay, and then we're going to go into a little bit of a fingerstyle picking pattern. So we're going to go 3rd fret on the thickest string, and then we're going to go open on the D, and then index finger on the G. So we're going to go, we do that twice. A little bit of rhythm here, it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Think like the beginning of Stand By Me, okay? So the beginning, putting those first 2 bars together, 3, 3, 2, 0, 3. Okay, into the next bar. Leave that 3 on the thickest string that you're holding down. Play 3rd fret on the thickest, open on the D, and then move the ring finger back to 3 where we started on the A string and play that, and then play 2nd fret on the A. So it's, so putting together those 3 bars. And from here, you go to the C chord. You don't need the index finger, but you do need the 3rd fret on the A and the 2nd fret on the D, okay? And you can leave that there. And you're going to play thumb on the A string, thumb on the D, which is making the 2 that this finger's holding down, and then open on the G string, so nothing. And then just move this ring finger up to 3rd fret on the thickest string. Leave the 2 where it is and do the same picking pattern, but you start on the thickest string. So we've got, what you could do is you could use your ring and pinky finger to do both. So then you've got this, and actually treat it as a C over G if you know what that is. But if you don't worry, just move that finger around from this string to that string. That's how I like to play it. Okay, so that's our intro. Now, one thing that happens with that intro is bars 1 to 4, the first line on the music, we play it twice. There's repeat symbols either side. I didn't do that in my performance at the beginning, just for the sake of time, really. So we're going to repeat it twice. Repeat. Okay, and that's our intro, right? Well done. Good. Let's look into what happens with this big melody. Okay, great. So sticking with our C chord, okay, I'm going to put that down and we're going to play some notes from that C chord or the C over G if you prefer. If you're doing that, it will be helpful. If you know that chord, you could use that. So A string with the thumb, then middle finger to play this 1 that we're holding down with our C, and then move the ring finger up if you're not doing the C over G and pinch the 3rd fret and the middle thumb and middle finger, thumb on the thicker string. And a pinch is where we pull 2 strings together at the same time, so we pinch them. There you go. And then we finally play the middle finger on the B string. So a lot of 1s in that bar. From here, leave the ring finger where it is on fret 3 on the thickest string and utilise the pinky finger that hopefully isn't sticking out or doing this and get it ready on fret 3 on the B string. And we're going to pinch those 2 strings. So that's fret 3 on the B, fret 3 on the E, pull them together. Then play open D and then pull them together again and then open D. So we're basically doing the same thing twice. Okay, putting those 2 bars together. And for those of you that have been astute to notice, you'll notice that my ring finger doesn't move when I go from that first bar of the melody to the second bar. Okay, so it's staying there. You see it staying? Good. Into the next bar. This is bar 7. We're going to pull those 3s again. Keep it held down from the previous bar. Then with your index finger, find fret 1 on the thinner string. If you know G7, you'll know that shape well. Then open A and D, or A and E. So this one, 2nd string down and the last string, like that. Then fret 2 on the A string and fret 3 on the B string. I use my middle and pinky finger for this. You could use this, but you might find it harder to go back to C. So I strongly recommend you use these fingers for that. So that bar again, pinching the 3s, the 1 on the E string, let go of everything, pinching A and E, and then 2 and 3 on the A and the B string. And then you're going to go back to a C or your C over G and do the same picking that we did on the bar directly above in bar 4. So we've already learned that, okay? Okay, we're now going to move into the next line. Now the next line, you're not going to guess this, is identical to the previous line. Right, so you're doing a straight repeat. So bars 5 to 8 are the same as bars 9 to 12. So good chance to do a recap. This is bar 8. Down to line 3. Good, okay, now we're on to line 4 on that tab. Sticking with our old friend the C chord, which I've moved the key into. The original was actually in the key of E, but the C is easier to play. So we're going to stick with our C, play the A string on the 3rd fret, and then we're going to pinch the D and the B string, and that makes the 2 and the 1 that we're holding down. And then just bring the ring finger down to fret 3 on the D string to get this F note out, and put the pinky also on fret 3 on the B string. So we're going bass on the C, that's the 3, then the 1 and 2, then move the ring down and put the pinky down, lift everything else up, pinch those two notes, those threes, and then open on the G and B. So there's a series of pinches, 3 pinches. 1, 2, 3. In terms of the fingers to use, thumb and middle, index and ring, ideally, would be great, but it doesn't matter too much. Okay, from there, we're going to find fret 1 on the thinnest string and fret 3 on the D string. We're going to pinch those two, it's based around an F chord. And also we're going to find, well, this is the thing to get down first to keep the time, but the middle finger, we also want that on fret 2 on the G string, okay, like this. So we're going to pinch those two, then we're going to play that 2, and then just take this ring finger and put it on fret 3 on the A string, leaving everything else where it is, pinching the A string and the E string, then index on that 2 again. So you don't move the middle finger. And when I was learning this and putting that together, when I was performing it for you, I found it really difficult to leave that middle finger there. Okay, so let's recap those 2 bars because this is quite a new bit of music. Good, okay. Now leaving that 1 on the thinnest string there, bring that ring finger back down to the 3 where it was earlier, and we're going to pinch those 2 notes again, so that's the D and the E string, and then we're going to take a little travel up the fretboard with the pinky finger and find fret 5 on the A string. So there's a bit of movement involved here. Then you're going to bring the pinky finger to fret 3 after it's done its 5, so you can sort of slide it, and then use the middle finger on fret 2 on the D string, pinch those, that's why the numbers are on top of each other on the tab, and then finally find fret 1 on the thinnest string and pinch the D and the E. Good, so that bar is... a bit of movement, but you have to just come back, keep the pinky finger staying where it is, okay? Let's back that up a little bit and go from bar 13. And then into this last bar. It's basically the same as the bars directly above it, but just with an open E string, not the fret 1 on the B string. So make a C, pinch the ring and the thumb and the ring finger, then thumb on D, open on the index finger on the G, then 3rd fret on the thickest, 2nd on the D, open there. So, okay, good. So to summarize that line, good, and on to the, more or less the last line. So we stick with our C chord, A string, 3rd fret, then pinch the A and the B string, keeping our C down for that 3 and 1. Then find fret 2 on the A string, lift everything else up, pinch the A and the B like we just did. So we're going, then move the middle finger down to fret 2 on the G string, and hold that down and play the A and the string that you're pressing down, the G string, as a pinch. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Okay, and then we've got this part here. So we're pinching, we've got the 3rd fret on the thickest string and the index finger on the G string. And we're going to pull those 2 together. Then open on D, and then open on G. Thickest string, then open on D, and then open on G. And bar 19, staying with fret 3 on the thickest string, then 3rd fret on the B, then 1st fret on the B, pinching the A string as well as that 1st fret on the B, then 2nd fret on the A string and pinching the B string. So that bar 19. Back to our C chord, picked exactly the same as bars 4 and 8. Okay. So that line again is... And then what we would do from there is actually there's a repeat symbol that takes us back to line 2. I didn't do this in my recording, once again for time. So it goes back to here. And round lines 2, 3, I can't play it and count that. 2, 3, 4 and 5. You basically go through them again, all the way through, until you get to the last line, which is basically the same as the last line on page 1, so you're just summarising. And strumming a C chord at the end with the side of your thumb. So you can do those repeat symbols from line 2 to line 3 to line 5 around as many times as you want. But as long as you eventually finish by doing that last line, then you've got a nice close to the song. Really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Keep on playing.